Hi, and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Kassia. On this channel, we discuss all aspects of the ascension process. I have a variety of services that I offer to assist in your awakening journey, and you can find those listed in the description box below. Today, we're going to be doing the daily reading for Tuesday, May 4th, 2021, and may the 4th be with you. Today is a day that's ruled by the third eye and guided by birth, and the galactic signature of today is the red spectral dragon energy. So this red dragon energy is all about nurturing, birth, and being. And so today we want to be especially present. We want to practice this art of being, where we are free from all distraction, free from all agenda, simply allowing us to exist and be present with what is. And every time we feel ourselves drifting away from what is, today's a really great day to put it into practice, to bring ourselves back to the moment, right? And to just be fully aware of what is happening in this moment. What is our experience in this moment? Is it possible for us to simply be present in the moment, to simply exist and allow that to be enough, right? We're always sort of in that rat race, right? We're always thinking about the next thing we need to do, the next place we need to be, the past, the future, all of these different things. And so really learning how to center into the present moment and how to allow ourselves to be and not place any attachments upon what being means, right? We're letting go of all of the identities, of all of the labels, of all of the everything, really, right? And we are just breathing into the space that we occupy. And it's a really beautiful practice, because I think that a lot of us, right, we put all of this pressure on ourselves, and we're really sort of trained to look at ourselves and identify ourselves by the things that we do, by the things that we are. And so this being energy strips away all of that. And are we enough when we simply are? When there's no titles attached to that, when there's no labels attached to that, when there's no accomplishment, there's no doing attached to that, are we enough? And so sinking into this energy can really give us a feel for that. And it gives us an opportunity to really connect to that one energy, right? To understand ourselves as part of that one energy. When we are simply being, we're able to feel much more connected to the totality of what is. And of course, once we do that, that's where we go from that energy of I am nothing and I am everything. It's that null space, that space of simply being where we are nothing, where then from that space we can connect in and realize and get that the feeling and of that knowledge of being everything. I wanted to read you guys something, and then we'll talk about the nurturing quality too, because there's a big nurturing quality today. But I wanted to read you guys something from this Astro Dream Advisor, which is where we get some of these really cool readings. And I thought that this was really beautiful too. They get really deep and esoteric on here when we're talking about the galactic signatures and the tribes. So talking about the Red Dragon tribe, this says, Red Dragon represents the root source of life, the nurturance and support of primary being, and within it are found the primal waters of unity. This is where your deepest roots receive true nourishment. Red Dragon energy is the energy of form contained within the formlessness of the primordial sea. Primal Trust means making choices with no guarantees, knowing that divine nurturance will provide what is needed for your journey. It means making choices moment by moment, implicitly trusting your innate steering mechanism of heart knowing. Primal Trust implies surrendering to the will of the divine self, letting go of what your ego deems to be control of the outcomes in your life. It means deeply trusting the processes that are at work within your present spiral of evolution. The energy of Red Dragon asks you to embrace the depth of your receptivity. Perhaps you have been taught that it is better to give than to receive. Giving is a powerful way to learn how to receive, but it is not the whole picture. There is a circuit of completion in giving and receiving that happens within you and in your external world at the same time. If you trust unconditionally in the giving, you are not attached to how the gift is received. When you freely give, you fill your cup with sweet waters, which you can then offer innocently and purely to another. Know on one level that your gift is poured out universally, regardless of how it appears to be received. However, when the gift comes from the ego, it is limited by expectations and conditions. Love just is. It is neither given nor taken. Rather, it is simply discovered and allowed. The universe is an inseparable whole. Red dragon represents the energy matrix lines that look like a web in the universe, through which all points are connected in time and space. This energetic web of communication is known as the crystal grid network. It is a cauldron of creation, a potent field in which all things are not only possible but constantly being created. Within this grid, the linear causality of time and space has been freed into an open system in which all time and all space exist and interact simultaneously. This grid connects the larger holograms of reality with our own. Its energy lines connect all places, time, and events, even those that are seemingly unrelated. All phenomena and all actions are part of this larger whole. It is the very foundation for telepathy and synchronicity. Red Dragon embodies unity, in which all things are one with the source. And so really tapping into that energy of being and allowing that to be your guide that allows you to tap in with the totality, with complete unity, with source, to really tap into that grid, right? That beautiful energetic grid where all things, all time, all space, all are connected and interwoven. And then we begin to understand how any one thing that we do benefits the all as well. And so with that in mind, when we're talking about nurturing today, we want to understand that nurturing ourselves has the effect of nurturing the all. So if today is a day that you feel as though you need some nurturing, go ahead and nurture yourself. And we talk about this every day, not just today, but today's particularly. This is the energy that we're tapping into. If you feel that you need that nurturing, give yourself that nurturing. Give yourself permission to be nurtured by others today as well, if they are wanting to be giving of nurturing. Which is going to quench your thirst the most today? Nurturing or being nurtured? And can you do both at once? As we just said, of course you can, because when you allow yourself to be nurtured by another, you are in effect nurturing them. When we're talking about that energy of giving and receiving, if they are giving freely of their nurturing today, that is filling them up as well. And so we are in turn nurturing them by allowing that. So really look at what ways can you allow love, right? What ways can you allow nurturing to take place? And how can we trust that we are always being supported and nurtured by the great sacred mother? Right? That nurturing is available to us all the time. That support is constantly with us. And so we're really being called to trust in that today. To trust that we are being supported, even if we can't know it, even if we can't see it, even if we can't feel it. And today is one of those days where some of us may have a little bit of trouble in that department and need a good reminder of this energy, because we do have some challenging aspects going on today, astrologically speaking. We do have Gemini, or Mercury rather, moving into Gemini, which is the sign of its rulership, one of the signs of its rulership, and the sign that it is the most like its energy. Right? And so this is very intense mental processes that we are initiating as Mercury transits Gemini. We are all about the facts. We are all about the figures. We are all about the information. It's a very communicative energy. Sometimes any of you who have Geminis in your life, if they have very, very strong Gemini placements, you may notice that they are extremely talkative, extremely social, extremely talkative. And so we're in that social kind of energy right now, in a lot of senses, where we are wanting to talk things out. We are wanting to discuss things. We're curious. We're wanting to learn. We're really desiring those cold hard facts as well. Gemini is the energy of facts. And so just really wanting to gather as much of that knowledge and information as possible. This is a very fast-moving energy. When Mercury is in Gemini, the brain is on overdrive. And so this is, once again, why we may need to take some of that time out to quiet the mind. Meditation is going to be really important as we move through Mercury's transit of Gemini. And Mercury will be going retrograde in Gemini as well. So we're going to be in this energy, and that's going to be helpful. You can see I'm starting to get into the Mercury and Gemini energy now as I start talking faster and moving a little bit faster. So the retrograde in Gemini is going to be helpful because it's going to slow down that energy a little bit. We're going to be adding that intuitive kind of feel to this very fast forward kind of energy. Instead of it just going in a linear line, we're going to be moving backwards. We're going to be fluctuating it. We're going to be examining things. We're going to be gaining facts and information and then examining those facts and information from a different perspective and a different standpoint. So that's definitely going to be helpful to help us to integrate. But until we do reach that slowdown, we want to be employing meditation, probably even more than we usually do. If we are feeling that mind energy, like our mind's doing gymnastics and it's possibly exhausting us, like meditation is going to be key to help with that. Today we have the Sun in a square to Saturn. This can be a little bit of a challenging energy. It can be an energy that makes us feel a little bit more pessimistic. We're not necessarily, gratitude is something we're really going to want to reach for with this Sun square Saturn energy, because it's a very realistic energy, but it's almost like too realistic, to the point where that's that energy when we talk about, like, don't think about the worst thing that can happen, think about the best thing that could happen. That Saturn square Sun energy really kind of brings us more into that what's the worst thing that could happen, or like what are the problems that need to be fixed right now. There's a high level of skepticism that is present with this energy, and especially with Mercury entering Gemini, that skepticism may be very high right now. We're wanting concrete proof of things. We're not necessarily wanting to take anybody's word on anything. We want to see the proof. Where are the facts? Like, show me the Carfax kind of energy is kind of like where we're at right now. And yeah, this is a very enduring energy when we're able to master it. And so it's not necessarily, remember, nothing is just one way. So there is a challenge to this energy, but we can absolutely work with it. And we can work with it to allow this little bit of skepticism to take root, to the point where it helps us to see things that maybe we hadn't seen before. What are some roadblocks, some challenges, or some obstacles that we can figure out a way to overcome? And with that Mercury and Gemini energy, we're all about figuring things out. We also have the Moon in a square to Venus today. So this can make us a little bit emotional. It can make us a little discontent when it comes to our emotional state. We may have difficulty in relationships today, especially where communicating our emotions, understanding and processing our emotions comes up. This is also if there are financial fears and frustrations with the Moon square Venus, we can feel those energies as well. And yeah, it's a little bit of a tumultuous. What's the word I'm looking for right now? It's not dramatic, but it's that energy where I feel like in general things are gonna feel larger than life today. Things are gonna feel larger than life, and so it's really being called for that emotional. We're really being called to practice that emotional discipline today. But to pay attention to what's coming up, right? Even if we are, especially with Mercury moving out of that square to Jupiter, but still loosely in that square to Jupiter as well. This is that energy where, and now I totally forgot what I was going to say when I was saying that. What was the point of bringing that in? I don't know, but it's, I don't know, I lost it. But it's definitely an energy that is kind of, it's like a reality check sort of energy in some ways, but we want to make sure that we're actually seeing reality and we're not just looking from the cup is half full standpoint, right? We want to try to be a little bit more balanced, and Mercury square Jupiter is adding to that lack of balance. Mercury square Jupiter, we can feel that energy one of two ways, either in that overly optimistic, unrealistic way, or in that possibly overly pessimistic. And so we may be dragged towards that pessimistic expression with all of these other aspects going on today. So we just want to keep trying to bring ourselves back to the middle, bring ourselves back to the whatever words are. Mercury and Gemini should make you good with your words. It should be facilitating the process better. I don't know if it's Mercury retrograde in Gemini is a strong energy because Mercury rules Gemini. So we're going to be feeling it possibly as far as once it goes into retrograde, as far as communication goes, technology, all the things that tend to go awry sometimes with Mercury retrograde may be felt much more intensely, especially if you have strong placements in Gemini. Yeah. So, so I don't know if I'm starting to feel this early or what it is, but I'm definitely getting a little bit tongue-tied here. But it's just finding that balance, gratitude. That's what I wanted to talk about. Coming back to the gratitude, resetting our minds every time they start spinning down this place, pressing that reset button in our minds and refocusing, finding some things to be grateful for, finding some ways to shift that perspective, and really focusing on that art of being. That's going to help a lot if we can just take a few minutes to breathe, just center into being into presence, simply be present in the moment, in our bodies, in our hearts. That's going to help a lot, I think, as well. Yeah, and also a very loose square from Mars to Chiron today. So lots of squaring energies going on. We do still have that Venus sextile Neptune energy, which is helpful. And we also have, and let me check this out again. Yes, we have Pallas moving into a conjunction with Neptune, and that's going to be happening around the new moon. And so this energy, they're still a few degrees apart right now. Yes, I count on my fingers. 5 degrees apart right now. But moving into, and so that's going to be helpful as well as for clearing away some of this confusion. But right now it's like we're just in it, we're navigating it, we're paying attention to what comes up, right? Now, no frustration is going to come up if it doesn't already exist, right? These energies simply reveal what's already there. And so we can be really grateful to them for doing that, because it's showing us this stuff is affecting us, whether we're aware of it or not. And so the more aware we can be, the more we then have the power to shift things. So we want to be grateful for all of that. Yeah, we just want to be grateful for all of that. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. I've done that multiple times today. Brought myself back to that gratitude, kind of silenced that mind energy. Because it's been, I looked at the astrology and I was like, okay, this makes sense. Like, now I understand a little bit better what's going on here. All right. And so what do we want to do? I'm feeling like I want to pull an Isis oracle card for you guys today. Clear. What guidance does Isis have for us? As we navigate today. Right? And so when I said may the 4th be with you, I really mean may the 4th be with you today. And we all experience energies differently, so some people could really be feeling these energies today as well. I mean, and these are just, everything's going to be different depending on how it's aspected in your personal natal chart as well. That's just the collective energy that we're talking about. So everyone can have their own experience, and honestly, we are the most powerful thing, right? These planets influence the energies, and they influence our energies, but we are sovereign spiritual beings. And so we can choose at any moment how we're going to experience and perceive anything in our lives. We are the ultimate creators and architects of our own lives. So we really, days like today are a really great day to step into our spiritual sovereignty and make that decision for ourselves. How am I going to experience today? How am I going to make the most of these energies? How am I going to develop that discipline, really get to know what is existing within my emotions, and express those in a way that is reflective of my truth and also compassionate and loving to others. Like we get to decide what kind of day we're going to have every day. So I feel like there's a great level of empowerment in that. And then we have the Divine Destiny card coming out, Path of the Divine Warrior. So I love that. Let's see what this has to say. You know, Isis is coming through being like, listen, you are on your path. You are on the path to your divine destiny. That is opening up to you. And we do have that 555 portal tomorrow, guys, which is all about our divine destiny. So I love that this energy, it's like she's coming through and she's being like, whoa, 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 listen. There may be some interesting astrology going on today for you guys, but you are in the warm-up for the 555 portal. You can access these energies. Time is an illusion, right? This red dragon energy is about being in that connected state where time and space do not exist, where it's all connected, it's all one. And so if you want to be in that 555 portal energy today, move yourself right into that energy. Shift yourself into that frequency, and let that be the dominating frequency of your day. You're being guided to trust your divine you're being guided to your divine destiny. The divine warrior energy exists within men and women as the inner propulsion to continue with a worthy path even during times of difficulty. When faced with a challenge, a true warrior will summon more of him or herself to the cause. It might be more wisdom, focus, intelligence, and surrender into the divine. The warrior within has great inner resourcefulness and determination. This part of you will lead you to spiritual success. So this is kind of exactly what we were just talking about, right? This oracle of divine destiny is a call to your divine warrior. This part of you has great self-esteem and believes that what you desire is worth whatever effort, personal growth, application, focus, and attention are required to obtain it, provided it aligns with your divine destiny. This part of you acts in personal integrity, and if the goal will compromise integrity, then the goal is refined until it shines like a diamond in your heart. Then the divine warrior will bring it into being. This path is not one of any means to an end. The means and the end are considered equally important. The divine warrior will succeed in bringing about your divine destiny, but it will be done in a way that is in integrity with deep spiritual values. There are important teachings on the path of the feminine about the need for surrender and allowing for the best manifestation. The divine warrior is not at odds with these, but continually surrenders into the greater unfoldment and play of cosmic forces, seeking to align with those forces for greatest power and flow. This oracle often comes at a time when there is something that you feel you are struggling to attain. It may be a vague sense or a clear vision. There is something within your heart that you have almost given up hope on, wondering if it is ever really going to come together. This oracle comes with the message that although you may feel struggle or challenge, it is not a sign to step away in this situation. It is a sign to put your faith in the divine warrior within instead. You may shift approach, change expectation, go within to find the resources you require, or find a completely different path to get you to your destiny. Do not give up. If you are not sure to what this applies, ask yourself what it is in your life that you feel you are fighting to attain or maintain. Find what it is, not in form but in essence. That's key. If it is your job that you are fighting for, then maybe it may be your freedom and responsibility that you are really fighting for. As an example, if you are struggling with your weight or eating habits, then it might be the right to express your true feelings that you are struggling with. With your body as the divine warrior, refusing to give up the right to truthful expression. Find the truth of what you are working toward and keep your heart and mind centered in that truth. Your divine warrior will get you what you need and deeply desire, in alignment with your best and highest divine destiny. You deserve no less. And so really that is just, confirmation coming through to stay the path, to stay the course, to know that all is not lost, even if it may feel that way. Really call upon that inner strength within you. Call upon that trust, know and understand, and believe that everything is working out. And sometimes these energies are simply, like it said, they're refining us. We talk about the diamond that's built through pressure, right? And so where are you being pressured, and how is that? How can you see that that's helping to refine you? And how can you assist that process of being refined? And how can you trust and put your trust in the process, even if you're not fully seeing the results? But above all else, this is telling you, you are on the path. Do not give up hope. Do not give up hope. And then we also have truths unveiled on the bottom of the deck. So I feel like as we are approaching this 555 portal too, truths about our divine destiny are going to be revealed to us. And some of those truths may be a little bit discouraging as well for some people, depending on what they're asking us to release, what they're asking us to, what they're calling us to do, right? Then we have magic and ritual coming out, crafting sacred practice. So just what we were talking about on the live the other day, about building that solid spiritual foundation. When you have a solid spiritual foundation, the storm will not shake you. And of course we go deeper into that and we talk about how we become the storm, right? But like that solid spiritual foundation is key. If we don't have that, things are going to be a lot more challenging for us. We can withstand a lot more, and we can do that without losing our center and maintain that center of gravity, if you will. It's much easier to do that when that foundation is strong. So how can you strengthen your spiritual foundation? How can you possibly add a new sacred practice into your ritual? Right now, for me, it's really getting good with the meditation and the self-healings and the walking as well, which has become like a meditation for me. So what ways can you craft your sacred practice? And for many people, adding magic and ritual into that, right? Anything that you do repeatedly is a ritual. And so really looking at it as that, moving out of the habit of looking at something as a habit and looking at it as a ritual. What is the difference? To me, a habit is something that's sort of compulsory. It's something that's so deeply ingrained in us on an unconscious level that we don't even think about it anymore. And it's like a program. A ritual is something that we consciously choose and that we do from that place of consciousness, that place of awareness, and there is a sacredness to it. So how can you shift out of habit and into ritual? And then we also have the brother in darkness, overcoming negative energy with feminine power. And so really us overcoming that energy, just like we talked about, rerouting ourselves, bringing it back to gratitude, bringing hope back in those moments where we begin to feel hopeless. And I want to see just real quick what this has to say. I love how it's with feminine power. This is how we're overcoming it. Right? Because that's really beautiful energy. Whenever negative energy is present, it is a sign that we are ready to move more deeply into our feminine divine power. The brother in darkness indicates that there is negative energy either within you or outside of you, but directed towards you, that is providing you with a spiritual test. Beloved initiate, you shall overcome this energy with grace and triumph. Stay in your heart. There is no need to be afraid. And so this is also just reminding us there is a lot of that negative, that dark energy, for lack of a better term, surrounding us in the world right now. Right? This is that fear mentality. When we start getting sucked into that fear, we have that choice between fear and love. And so what are we choosing? There's a lot of energy out there attempting to influence us toward the path of fear. But we are energetically sovereign beings, right? Just like we said. And so in every moment, we can choose love. And even if we inadvertently, involuntarily choose fear, in the next moment, as soon as we identify that we've chosen that, we can then choose love instead, right? We always have that power. We always have that power. There is a test that you are currently moving through because you are ready to progress more deeply into wisdom, light, acceptance, and inner peace. The test is the guise of a negative energy source, either within you or apparently outside of you. I love how it says apparently outside of you, right? In truth, we are all one, and the world is our mirror for whatever healing task lies within. Even though sometimes the source of difficulty appears to be external, rather than an opportunity for us to gain mastery with our own responses through inner healing. Guidance comes to you in this oracle now to become more conscious of the negative energies either within or directed towards you without being fearful. There is no need for fear. There is just need for more conscious, loving response. Right? And so this is us with our own negativity that's coming up to be released, that's coming up to be acknowledged and transmuted. Your guidance is to rise above fear, anger, jealousy, or hatred within you or directed towards you now. This will require your feminine strength to be fiercely compassionate and not to judge or resist out of fear. Compassion is great strength. It sees the truth in all situations. It does not pander to lies or deceptions in order to paint everything as nice. Compassion is wisdom. It knows that a wolf can cause harm even if it is dressed as a sheep. You are guided to be attentive and honest about negative influences within or directed towards you without judging them or their source or paying undue attention with fear. Right? We acknowledge, but we don't give away too much of our attention, because when we give away too much of our attention, we are giving away our power. You simply need recognition and then to respond with compassion and clear, loving, firm boundary. This boundary will very often be an internal shift energetically for you. It may not require any further action than this. Listen to your heart and trust in your guidance. You are guided, however, to respond now and check the growth of any negativity before it becomes more consuming than it needs to be. This oracle also comes as spiritual revelation. Part of your spiritual path is to honor the darkness as a way through to greater consciousness. To not fight against darker and potentially destructive emotions with force, but to allow them to be with compassion, instantly removes the resistance that creates psychic glue and causes darker energies to get stuck within us. Right? So really knowing and understanding that the more we resist things, the more they persist. So allowing them to be with compassion releases the resistance. Trust your feminine values, whether man or woman, and don't believe for one moment that you are obliged to wear another's negativity for them. You are not. You may stand true in your purity of heart and be safe. If you do have negative energy rising within you, the same stands true. Have compassion and witness it, but don't believe that you have to identify with it. It is not you. It is just energy and feeling. Let it flow and it shall go. Yeah, I love that. That's powerful stuff. This is a powerful initiation, right? And this is an initiation that we are all going through. It's part of this ascension process, really, is this initiation where we recognize that fear, we recognize that darkness, but we don't attach to it, right? We don't allow it to cause us fear. We approach it with compassion, right? We create those boundaries with compassion. We get to make that choice of whether we want to descend into that energy or whether we want to just simply witness that energy, send it compassion, and be on our way. All right, I love you guys. I appreciate you. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button. Oh, also noticing past life, present power, the many spiritual facets of you. So there's like soul retrieval energy coming through. And then the mother of life, nourishment of the golden grain mother, right? Talking about that nourishing energy, knowing that you are being nourished. This is confirmation. You are being nourished by the sacred mother in every moment, and you can always connect in with that knowledge and connect in and tap into that nourishment and receive that from her. All right. And then initiation, is that not what we were just talking about? All right. So powerful, powerful stuff today, you guys. There are links down below to donate if you feel so moved to do so. Clear. And my email is in the description box below, along with the services that I offer. Please reach out to me if you would like any assistance with any of the things we've talked about today, or anything that you are going through on your path and in your ascension journey. I love you. I appreciate you. You guys are amazing. I will talk to you soon.